Atlanta United Fan TV here with Tanner. It's I think 2 points dropped for sure, and it's something that I think going in we were a little bit more optimistic, but I think Toronto FC, they just came and smashed and grabbed.
I'm torn in very many directions when it comes to talking about this game. Part of me is absolutely soul crushed because I thought Atlanta United deserved 3 points there. I thought Toronto deserved nothing. We created some good stuff at times, and we didn't take our chances again at home, which is really frustrating. Went behind again at home in a half that I think Atlanta United had absolutely dominated because Toronto really didn't have much of the ball. When they did, it was never a clear-cut chance. There's just so much to break down from this match. It's really, really disappointing. But at the end of the day, it is absolutely 2 points drop. And it's the second time in right on a month. 4th of July, Dallas, pretty much a similar game. The game that Atlanta United did not deserve to not win. And they walk away without 3 points again. And it's really, really, really frustrating.
Now, Miggy can't buy a goal right now. And he had 2, I would say, sitters, definitely. I mean, and it seems like it's all going Josef's way, which is great. But I think, at this point, we do need to share it around a little bit. But Josef is as prolific as they come, still 1 away from the record. So, I mean, there's a positive to get out of this match.
Josef scored twice again. I think the only reason he got subbed was because it looked like he might have picked up a little bit of a knock. You don't want to risk that because if he's scoring that much, you don't want him to stay on because we know he all wants to stay on, but he's never going to get out of his own way. If it's a hammy and then he tweaks a hammy and he's out for a few weeks and we're not going to be in a great spot, so you have to take him off. It's really unfortunate. He had an incredible game again. The header was, a glancing one, but it was a great ball from Tito and great finish. Penalty, he does what he has to do to get it. Still a penalty, I think, and he bears it again. He's like you said, he's 1 goal off, another brace. I mean, that's 7 goals in his last 3 games. It's honestly incredible what this man is doing. But for a player who wants to play in 2019 in Europe, Miguel Almiron has to start doing a little bit more for me. He might be fine in the build-up. He might be fine with his 1-2 touch. But if he wants to play in Europe, Spain, England, Germany, he had 2 chances today. Now, I'm not saying you have to score every single one of them. But if you get 2 cut chances like that, you have to take 1. The second one, a lot more than the first because he had time. The keeper kind of knew he was going to go to that direction because he's so one-footed, but still, if you put it a little bit higher, a little bit wider, even try to do what Josef does, and that's chop him and then cut back the other way, you have an empty net. Miguel has the feet to do that, but he has to take those chances, and I love Miguel Almiron. He's an incredible player, but when you're due for criticism, you're going to get it, and right now, their keeper, got them 2 points out of that game because I'm not going to fault Josef. He had a chance, but Miggy had 2, and both were incredible, plays. They were incredible football. And he needs to put those away if he wants to, get that move that he so desperately craves. And if he doesn't put those away, then, I wouldn't buy a player for that. I mean, he has to do more. And that's, difficult to demand of a player who 9 goals, 8 assists does so much. But he should have more than that. And it's not entirely his fault that we didn't get 3 points today. But you can definitely point to his misses as glaring reasons why they didn't get them.
Now, in terms of coming into the match, the lineup definitely was a surprise. No one expected Larry to be in the back line. And to be fair, that actually looked okay. We were dominating for, most of the match. It was just, we weren't clinical. What did you think of the lineup when it first came out?
I wasn't happy with it. I'm not really a fan of the 3-5-2. I think it robs us of our width that we have. It robs us of that natural overlap, although that happened anyway. Tito pulled very, very wide. Miggy didn't really stay in the middle. So I thought the formation was fine. I thought Tata, honestly, he got it as well on as he could have. United dominated. They created a lot of chances. A lot of time they couldn't find that final ball. Sometimes they did find the final ball, and it wasn't just Josef and Miggy, but sometimes, that it just wasn't there. No one pulled it off, or that last, chance was just briefly mishit. But they dominated Toronto. Toronto offered nothing, in my opinion. They got 2 smash and grab goals. The first one bounces around, get a possession really quickly, and it goes in. Javinko, obviously a talented player. The second one was just incredibly frustrating. Obviously, a lot of us want it to be offside, but it's such a close call that if it was called offside, it would have been offside. If it was called onside, it stayed onside. It's frustrating. But at the same time, you can't let that happen. You have to keep your focus. And again, that's Atlanta United losing their focus in the final minutes of the game and throwing away points. That's not a quality of a team that wins something. I don't know how many lessons they need to do it. But on the whole, I thought the team played well. They moved the ball a lot quicker. And again, it was an improved overall team performance, and they deserved 3 points. They absolutely did, but they didn't take their chances. And I guess the only thing left, to talk about aside from criticizing that and going, talking about that, is the fact that, in my opinion, as tweeted it after the game, I thought Toronto were disgraceful. I thought the way they handled themselves was ridiculous. The official absolutely allowed them to. We knew he was a poor official coming in. I don't know if you watch his Mike Dean highlights on repeat or something for research, but if you know who Mike Dean is, you understand that. He let it go both ways at times, absolutely. I would rather him call fouls against us and keep it a composed game the entire way through than allow egregious stuff like that to go. I mean, the yellow cards could have been out early and often. He let them go. It just was a very poor performance. And I talked about it a bit with some people after podcast on Monday, but if MLS wants to grow, you're going to have to make your officials better. Because right now, I can't definitively say if he's the reason why Atlanta didn't win that game. But regardless of that, his performance was terrible. It was terrible for both teams. It was ridiculous. And if you want this league to move forward, you have to have better trained officials. You have to have more of them. You have to hold them accountable. Because after this game, if Atlanta United ask any questions, the referees, union, if you would call it that, is going to come out with some absolute bullocks response as to why he was right on everything he did. And that's really frustrating to watch. I mean, the red card at the end was a red. I mean, it just testifies again to how Toronto handled themselves. They came to play anti-football. So many late fouls they got away with. So much time wasting. Not having all their players on the field to begin the second half was ridiculous, making everyone wait. Josie Altidore threw himself to the floor every chance he got. They were disgraceful. They were pitiful. I thought Atlanta were a better team, and I hope we play them again because if those guys get angry and focused for Atlanta United, we should absolutely roll them because they weren't very good tonight. They offered nothing, and I hope we get the best of them when we see them in Toronto.
Will be very interesting. They are kind of making a playoff push. Are they a playoff team?
Yeah, I think so. They're a good team. I mean, the only reason they had to resort to that level of shithousery is because they're playing Atlanta United. And, that's, Seattle and now, Toronto have absolutely just come in and played the definition of negative football, showing no interest aside from a smash and a grab and hoping the ref is poor, which they usually are. Yeah, they're a playoff team. They're still really good. Any other team they'd beat. Any other team they'd attack more, they'd be better. But they knew what they had to do, and at the end of the day, I guess it worked for them. I still really dislike that team now. I thought it was just absolutely just annoying how they played. And I can't say that enough, but we'll see what happens. But I hope we see them again because I'd like to beat them because they're not the best team in the league right now. And a team like that, to be the holders, I'm not a fan of it. It was poor. So.
For sure, man.